Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of D-List Diaries.
Welcome.
Another week we were supposed to have Gina, but she had an unfortunate little incident at the salon. Everyone's okay. There's just some water damage, but we're praying for her and hoping that the salon gods let her come on this podcast soon.
Yes, we're hoping to have her back soon because we definitely miss her.
I know, but I'm always happy to do this with you, Kirsten, because I love to see your face and hear your voice.
Likewise, I love to see your face and hear your voice, and you're just so beautiful inside and out. I'm grateful for you.
Tell me more. Tell me more. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
So I wanted to start by telling you something I'm really excited about, which I bet I'm the only one, but Chris and I got a new couch. And it's funny because when we were filming the show, we needed a new bed frame. And production was like, okay, we'll take you furniture shopping. And they took us to a couch store, a store that exclusively sells couches and chairs. And we were like, this is great, but we don't need a couch. And now, of course, we needed a couch. And we did not go back to that store because it was all custom furniture and it was like $10,000 a couch. But we got a new couch that was reasonable, dog friendly, and we've made it like a little fort. So we're probably never going to get off the couch, and we would love for you to come join us because that's where we live now. We live on the couch.
So tell us more about the couch. Is it firm? Is it soft? Like, is it a sectional? Like, what color is it? I want to hear all the details because I do love
Okay.
furniture. Yes, let's get into this couch. I need
So
to come
it's a
sit on the couch.
sectional. Yeah, you
Okay.
have to come try it. It's a sectional. It's an L-shaped with a chase. Everyone told us to get leather, which is the best option for dogs, but we just don't like leather. So we shopped around and we looked for a performance fabric. This is not sponsored, everyone, by the way. This is just me being really excited about this couch. And it's a performance fabric, so it should be good with the dogs. And we got a fancy warranty where they will replace things or come in and clean it. And the color, it was supposed to be a light gray, but they sent us the wrong color, but they actually sent us the color that we liked better, but it's a little lighter. So I'm hoping that it won't get too dirty too quickly, but it needs to be, broken in. And we're just going to get some more pillows and blankets to add color to it.
What color would you think about adding to it with it being light gray? I have a light gray couch, and my accent colors are like white, and my pillows are like fringe pillows. They're super cute. So they're white and brown, but it's like all neutral colors.
Which I love, but we have to think of the messy dogs. So we'll probably
Hmm.
do some kind of cool tone blues. But it's funny because when Chris and I moved in together, we were both living alone in our own apartments. So we kind of merged all of our furniture. So our house is like 50% new and meshed nicely, and 50% just all of our old stuff, which isn't very old, which is why we didn't replace it all yet. But we kind of just all threw it in and we're slowly trying to replace everything. But we got the couch, and I'm like, oh, the rug is too small and doesn't match. And now the coffee table doesn't go with the couch. So he's going to kill me
It's always
because,
one thing after another.
yeah,
Yeah. But you have to get it all set up the way you like it, because once you have it set up the way you like it, it's going to look amazing. And then you're going to be like, oh, I just love being at home. But you guys are, I feel like y'all are people who enjoy being at home and y'all enjoy
hmm
cooking. Yeah. So I'm always like, what are you doing this again? You're like, we're watching shows and here on the couch. So I'm happy y'all got a new couch.
we love couch. Yeah.
Next up, a new rug and some new pillows.
Yeah. We're never going to leave now. So try to get me out of the house, and I'm going to say no, thank you. But you're welcome to come over and sit on our little couch. Oh, and the best part, it was so funny. So we got the new couch yesterday, and the dogs were distraught. They were like, where's my old couch? Kobe, our middle dog, he had this little corner chair that he loved, and he was so upset. He never growls ever. And yesterday he was just laying there and started growling out of nowhere because he was so upset that his chair was gone. So finally I was like, screw it. We didn't get rid of the old furniture yet. So we took the old ottoman, and it fits perfectly in between the couch and the chaise. So we're just going to leave it there, maybe cover it, maybe make it work, just because the dogs were so upset without their old furniture. So that shows how much they dictate our lives.
Yeah, they do. Those are y'all's kids. I feel like once they get used to it, though, y'all will be fine. But
Oh yeah, they
I'm
were
sure
they
they'll.
were distraught. They were like, "Where is my couch?" I
Oh my
cleaned
gosh.
everything. I washed everything in the living room, all the blankets, all the throws, everything. And they're like, "Where are our smells? Where's our couch?"
Yeah,
Poor
it just
guys.
wasn't familiar to them. Poor guys, they'll get used to it. I
Yeah.
have to see this new couch. I either have to come over, or you'll have to send me a picture.
We'll do both. I'll send you a picture and then you'll come over.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Yeah. I'm actually, after this, I'm going to get a facial with Jasmine because my
Ooh,
face is dry and I know she's going to fix me up. So I'm excited to see her and have her do some magic on my dry skin.
ooh, yes. Facials are always so relaxing. You're gonna feel your skin is gonna feel so rejuvenated afterwards. I
Do
love
you like
facials.
them? Because I don't find them relaxing, but I find them very necessary. But do you fall asleep?
Yes. Well, no, I don't fall asleep, but have you ever had a hydrofacial?
No. What is that
Oh
exactly?
my gosh. It's like where they use this tool and it's like water sifting through your skin and it's
Mm.
pulling out the dirt. You have to get a hydrofacial done. Nicole, oh my gosh.
I wonder if Jazz does them.
Ask her.
Do they do the steam still, or is it like a completely different machine?
It's a completely different machine.
Huh.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're like heaven sent.
'Cause I've only gotten a few facials before, but every time I get them, I love how my skin looks. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I know I need them, but I'd rather get a massage. Maybe she'll do a little scalp massage in there. Play with my
Oh,
hair.
oh yeah, I have to add that on.
Benefit of having friends do your face work. Like just
Exactly.
massage my scalp.
So what side of town is that on?
So it's actually like 45 minutes. She's in Murfreesboro.
Oh,
So
okay.
I said I would only travel that far away from my new couch to
I
see her
know,
and get the
right?
facial, but it'll be
I'm
nice to get out of the
shocked.
house.
Yeah, and to see her too and
Yeah,
catch up. So,
and see that ring in person.
mm-hmm.
Also, speaking of Jasmine, Aerys is leaving Nashville.
What? I didn't know that. Where's he
Yeah,
going
he got a
to?
job in DC.
Oh, good for him.
I know, but
We'll
that's
have to
far.
have him come on the show and tell us more. We'll have to have both of them come on the show and tell us more.
Listeners, we know everyone wants Jasmine on here, as do we. And she said she will join us when she's not in the thick of wedding planning. But Aerys is always an enigma, but maybe he will join us if I ask him very nicely, very
Yeah,
sweetly.
ask him very nicely, and I'm sure he will. We'll add him to our list.
Yeah, we're working on new guests for everyone. So you're not just going to hear our voices every week. But if you like hearing our voices, then you will also still hear our voices. So it's a win win.
It really, truly is. How did you know he was moving to DC? How did you find this out? Nicole knows.
Hashtag Nicole knows. So I was talking to him about his birthday's coming up and the St. Jude half marathon is coming up. And I always make a sign for him every year. So I asked him if he was running this year so I could start working on my sign. And he's like, no, I'm not running it. And then that was it. I was like, okay, he's not running it. I didn't want to press because maybe there was a reason. And then the next day he posted on Instagram that he's moving. I was like, you didn't think to tell me this yesterday when we were talking? And that's obviously why he's not running because he won't be here. I was a little
Oh,
sad, but it's okay. Phones
yeah,
work no matter where you live. So we'll be
that's
okay.
true. You're so funny, Nicole. You crack me up. I love how you get down to the bottom of it. You're
I
like,
need to
oh,
know.
right, you found out. But I feel like he's definitely gonna love DC. He's gonna thrive there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna like it better than Nashville. So wish you well, Aries. We wish you well. We'll have to go and travel to see him. Make a trip to DC.
Yeah, we can go when it's cherry blossom season next year.
Yeah, I actually have a cousin. She lives in Virginia. So it's like as soon as you get on the interstate and you go maybe like one or two exits down, you're in DC. She took us on a night drive and we looked at all the monuments and everything at
Oh,
night. And it
fun.
was nice. Yeah. Because my brother and I got stuck there. What was this,
Oh,
2 or 3 years
right.
ago? Yeah.
I
When we
remember
flew to
this.
Toronto because the weather was so crazy. So yeah, we'll have to travel to DC cherry blossom season.
If anyone out there lives in DC, maybe you'll see Aerys running in the streets. So keep an eye out. I used to see him all the time. Both of us, we used to run into him all the time randomly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they'll probably see him out there running those streets. He may
Yeah.
start a new run club or join one out there. That'll be fun for him.
The Adventures of Aerys. I'd follow that.
The Adventures of Aries. He should start filming his own show there. That'll be
He
funny.
should. I was laughing because I don't know if you watch it. There was a Married at First Sight Hall of Fame. They showed all clips of like older seasons and they had different categories and they had winners, whatever. It was kind of silly, but it came on right after we were watching the second part of the Married at First Sight reunion. So it came on to the part where it was, I forget what it was called. It was like most likely something about saying something outlandish, like most likely to say something outlandish. And it was all these clips of Erish just being Aerys.
No
And I
way. Are
was
you serious?
crying. Like looking back when it happened at the time, I was like, what a dum dum. And obviously, this was not great in his marriage to Jasmine. And I totally respect that that was not something she found enjoyable, nor would I. But watching
Not at
it
all.
now, 2+ years later, I was cracking up because it's just so absurd. And he definitely deserved to win that award. So they did right.
Yeah, he definitely deserved to win it, but I didn't watch it. Now you make me want to go back and watch just his part of him saying crazy things. I remember when we used to have the watch parties when y'all lived downtown. And I looked over at him and I was like, if I was her, I probably would have been like, let me tell you something,
Yeah.
sir. Get yourself together. Because he was out of control. I'm like, what is wrong with him? He's saying these crazy things. Is he not aware of what he's saying? Like, let's think about what's coming out of your mouth, mister. But I looked over at him. I was like, it's no way possible. We would have had to have a real
Yeah.
conversation. But he deserved to win. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
There was,
my
we saw
gosh.
another one that was like most in touch with their feelings. And of course, they will show, or they will use any excuse to show Chris crying over our dogs. So it's just him sobbing. I'm like, you are in touch with your feelings. That's very sweet and that's very manly. It's not something to be embarrassed about,
Not at
but it
all,
was
because
cute.
I struggle with that. So it is good that he's in touch with his feelings, and most people are not. So
I
kudos
know.
to Chris.
Yeah, we didn't watch the whole thing. We were only fast forwarding until we saw our faces, obviously. We won Best Rom Com Couple.
Hey, y'all.
And then there was one, Clint actually won, but he and I were both nominated for, I forget what it was called, but it was like biggest goofball or something. And again, I was cracking up because it was just Clint being Clint when he was at the 80s party and he had all the eyeliner on.
Yeah,
So
he won
funny.
that costume. If we had a costume challenge, he would win because he looked amazing. You and him both looked amazing. So, and it was y'all's birthdays.
It was our
Like,
birthday.
yeah, who picked out his costume?
He probably did.
You
Gina
think
did
so?
slick his hair back, and I think she taught him how to use the eyeliner.
He was definitely a rock star that night. Fun
Very funny
times.
stuff. Normally, I don't watch those specials because I'm like, whatever, they're just regurgitating old information, but it was very funny. And I actually like those better. Like, I want Gina on here so we could talk about her Secrets Revealed special, but she'll get here eventually. She'll slip away from the salon and we can talk to her
For
about
so
it.
long. Yeah, she should have popped in and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here. Let's talk about it. Gotta go."
There's just water damage, but let me hop on this podcast real quick.
Right,
No.
right. I know, bless her heart. But we'll have to talk about it next time when she's here with us.
Yeah. We got a taste of TV again last week. We were on the Talk of the Town, which is a Nashville lifestyle news segment. Kirsten set us up for that. So you go, girl. You go, girl.
I know. I just reached out to them. I was like, "Hey, what about having us on the show?" And they did. They was like, "We would love to have you. Thanks so much for reaching out." I was like, "You never know. Just shoot your shot and see where it lands." And we went on the show. It was so quick.
I know.
It was the quickest interview we ever had. I feel like it lasted for 4 minutes, but we were able to tell people about our podcast and give them an update of what we're doing with our podcast and life after reality TV. So it was fun. And we got to see a lot of behind the scenes. So just watching a weatherman report the weather in Nashville and track all the storms, because we were just preparing for a storm the day that we were on the show. I think we had the storm like the next day. He
Yeah.
was,
It was like
yeah.
tornado season.
Yeah,
It was
which was
really
pretty
bad.
scary. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, he was the only one that was working. Nobody else was coming into work. And we were like, hey, if you need us, we don't know much. We're not too much of a storm tracker, but we can stand in, give us the report, and we'll talk about it. But I thought it was really cool to see the behind the scenes again of how
Yeah.
everything operates at the news station.
But they had all that fancy camera. They had cameras on wheels that did not have any kind of protection for people, like no spatial awareness. So I was like, we're going to get hit by a camera, but it'll be funny.
It stopped right in front of me. I was like, if this equipment hit me, I will definitely be talking. I'll have to have a conversation with News Channel 5.
It'll be the
But
talk
it
of the
kind of
town.
reminded me, yeah, it'd be the talk of the town, right? If it would have rolled over that one big toe, we would
Oh
have had a
my God.
problem. But it's so funny because that equipment that was rolling around, that camera on wheels, they had some similar equipment on Traders. So when I was watching Traders, when they were playing chess, the giant chess piece,
Yeah,
remember?
it
I was
was
like,
crazy.
that looks like the equipment from the news station.
I love that you're watching Traders. Never too late to start.
Yeah, so I watched season 3. I skipped over season 1 and 2. And I saw the episode with the dolls. I know you had texted me about
Oh
that.
my God.
And when
Tom
Tom was
Sandoval and the
singing,
dolls.
yes, when Tom was singing, I was like, oh my gosh. He was like, I'm the only one that's musically inclined. So I
Hilarious.
was like, yes, Tom, take over because everybody else was like, what in the world? I don't know what these dolls are saying. And when he was holding his ear singing into the phone, I was like,
Amazing.
this is hilarious. I'm like,
It's
he
like,
should
hum
win.
na na na, with the doll to his ear. And Britney
Yes,
Spears' ex-husband is like, oh no, he's not musically inclined. I'm like, oh my God, poor Tom. But it
yes.
was, I still think about it probably every day to this day. Like, remember when Tom was singing to the dolls?
I know, and I loved the episode. I was like, oh, this is getting really good. But I don't think that I could ever go on those game shows like that, Survivor, Deal or No Deal. Like when those bugs came flying down and they had to like hold each other's hands and those,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even know, reptiles were crawling on them. I don't even know what type of bugs they were, but I was like, it's no way possible. I
Yeah.
couldn't do that.
They always do like one or two gross challenges in traders, but the rest of them are usually pretty, they're just like running around and labor intensive, but they always do
Yeah.
one or two gross ones.
Yeah, that was so gross. I was like
It was
freaking out
gross.
at home. I thought I was like moving around at home as if the bugs were crawling on me.
Yeah. That one I could have done, but they all had their mouths open as bugs are dropping down. I'm like, close your mouth,
Hmm.
close your mouth. What are you doing? You get a bug in there.
Oh my gosh, that would have
Crazy.
been gross if the bug would have went in their mouth.
Ugh,
Oh,
yeah.
I know, right?
Netflix is coming out with a similar show. It's called $1 Million Something. And I think the concept is there's however many people, I think it's 12, and they all have their own rooms in this castle. And one person has $1 million in their room and they have to hide their identity throughout the whole time. So it's similar. I don't know that they kill people off so much. Actually, I don't know anything more than that, where it's just like a mystery. You have to figure out who has the $1 million. So
Mhm.
it's supposed to be Netflix's like traders type show. And I think that comes out next week. So
Well, I'm
we
gonna
will be
watch
watching it.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I do like the game shows. I'm into them now.
Well, I got plenty of time on the couch now. So,
You're on your
especially with
couch.
Chris traveling and me on the couch, you're just going to be like, where's Nicole? You're like, I can't get up. I've melted into the couch bed.
Oh my gosh, you and the couch. You know, I love my couch, but I don't like melting on the couch. I'm like, what can I do? Where can I go? But hey, these past 2 weeks, I've been at a couch potato. I've watched all the shows.
You need that. I think unless you're skipping out on something that you could or should be doing, there is nothing wrong. Like if you're spending every weekend inside and you're not seeing friends and you're not doing your errands and you're falling behind on things, then that's a different situation. But if I don't have anywhere else to be, I'm not going to feel guilty about not going out for the sake of leaving the house. So I think everyone needs to rot on the couch at some point, especially in this transitional weather period. It's spring, but we had snow flurries and hail the other day. We had tornadoes.
Wasn't that so weird? I was looking
Crazy.
out. I was like, is this hell? What in the hell is going on?
What in the hail is going on? That is right.
Oh my
This
goodness, this
world is
weather.
just
Yeah.
crazy. So I hope everyone out there is okay with the crazy weather the whole country's been having. And it's going to be spring at some point, I think,
Yeah,
hopefully.
even though it started a couple of days ago, you know, in Nashville, it takes some weeks to ease into spring, and then the next thing you know, it's 100 degrees.
I love the hot weather, so I'm okay with it. But I need your help, you, Kirsten, and the listeners. I need ideas. And I know Chris is going to listen to this, but I won't give away any of my ideas. So every year for the past, this is our third year now, when March Madness basketball comes up, we make a bracket or brackets in a group. And I know nothing, literally next to nothing about sports. And Chris, is very good at watching sports, betting on sports, picking winners, whatever. So the past 2 years, I've won our group tournament, whatever. And I pick my brackets based on names of teams that I like, number when it shows their ranking or whatever it is, what number I
Hmm.
like better, not necessarily the higher number. So I pick names, numbers, and if I like the mascot. So that's how I pick my brackets. And I've won the past 2 years. And last year we started, everything we do is a competition. And I can get more into that because it's very silly. But last year we decided that We would both win technically because the prize would be an activity to do together that neither one of us has ever done before. But the winner just had to do their thing first. So there was more pressure to plan it. Even though I ended up doing mine first, I think, just because of timing. But it's just us having an excuse to do something new and different and bragging rights, bragging rights. All of that to say is I need ideas. And don't tell me now because he's listening. So I'm going to need people to message me on Instagram, email us. Kirsten, you can tell me later, but I want everyone thinking we need to do a fun activity that it's likely neither of us has ever done. So last year, my thing was we did a gnocchi making class and we learned how to make that and French baguettes. And as you know, I still make the French baguettes pretty frequently. And then he took us to a goo cluster making class. So it's funny, we both picked food making. You know, goo clusters, right? They
Yeah.
started in
You make
Nashville.
chocolate here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone who doesn't know, it's a famous Nashville candy. It's basically chocolate filled with whatever you want it filled with. And I think they're usually filled with like caramel and nuts, but you make your own and you can put as many toppings as you want or fillings as you want. So we did a lot of eating last year, but we got to step it up this year.
Yeah, I'll send you some ideas
Thank you.
after this. Some activities, some more activities.
I feel like are you competitive in relationships? Like silly competitive. We're not mean about it, but it's like anything we can make a competition, we do.
I can be competitive for sure. It's fun.
Yeah, I could see you being, and it's a good thing. I'm not saying this in a bad way because I'm also this way, but I could see you being like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bragging rights in this house are huge.
Listen, I feel like you're probably going to beat him again. It's so crazy that you have your certain strategy. Like, I've never heard of that. It's super weird, but
It
I
is
mean,
weird.
hey,
No
it works. Yeah, it works. So, sounds like you are going to beat him again, so he needs to prepare.
Don't let him hear you say that.
Uh-oh, he's gonna listen. He's gonna know that I said this. Sorry, Chris. I think Nicole's gonna beat you again. But yeah, I haven't watched college basketball in a while. I used to make brackets just to, play and have fun and friendly competition with people. But next time y'all have to let me know so I can make one.
Next year, you can be in our competition.
Yeah.
You can do the activities with us. Yeah. So he said at the end of every day, whoever is winning that day gets an extra long foot massage. And he's like, you get a foot massage every day. And I'm like, that's why I said extra long.
Because you know it's going to be you.
I know
Exactly. Yeah. You're such a smart woman. I love it.
Anyway, I could play that man. No, I'm just kidding. He knows it's all in good
He
fun.
falls right into the trap every time.
He says he's not competitive, even though he is. And anything we do, like we recently went back to mini golf, which I know we did on the show. Everyone thought I was being a baby and throwing a tantrum, but I'm like, it's because we're so competitive.
Which mini golf did y'all go to? Did y'all go to Putt Shack?
Putt Shack. I loved it.
Yeah,
Have you
Putt Shack
been?
is so much fun. I've been in Putt Shack like 3 times.
Yeah, so it's a new place in Nashville and it's indoor mini golf, but it's, what's the word? Like everything's calculated for you. So you don't have to keep track. The ball has a sensor, so it senses all of your swings and all of the actual, why can't I think of the words?
The points?
No, the golf itself, everything has a theme. They all look like Price is Right games.
Yeah, each hole has a number and it calculates how many hits.
Some of them have games to it. So some of them are like trivia.
Yeah, like trivia.
And, there's 2 holes that are equidistant from where you need to be, but the left is the right hole. The left is the correct hole and the right is the wrong hole, depending on what the trivia question is. So it's interactive and there's a full bar. We saw someone getting engaged in there. It was a blast. Yeah, it was so fun. But he won. He did win. Chris won that and he got bragging rights. But when I know I'm not going to win something, I get less competitive and I act like I don't care. But when I know I'm good at something and I'm not being good at it, I'm very like, this should be mine.
See, I'm the opposite. I'm like, okay, let me get myself together. I have to win. So I was playing Uno the other night and I was winning. And then I did start to get nervous when I wasn't winning anymore because we were playing the best 2 out of 3. And it was just, 1-on-1. So Uno takes a longer period of time when you're playing just against one other person. And I'm like, okay, I'm winning. I got this. Now you are a loser. So I'm like trash talking and like we had betted on different things. He was like, if you win, what do you want? Like I couldn't pick anything. I couldn't come up with any ideas. And then I watched a movie the other night. I should have told him I wanted a candlelight dinner. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Yeah, because I was watching a movie and they were having a candlelight dinner. But I did win dinner, I won lunch, and
Ooh,
I know. So I need to follow up to see when dinner's going to be cooked and what day I'm going to receive lunch.
you bet big. I like that.
Yeah, and I want something else too. But
We do smaller bets because we do it so frequently. It's usually like you get up with the dogs in the morning or a foot massage or you have to make cookies. Like we do smaller things because everything in this house becomes a competition, but that keeps things interesting, you know?
it does. I love that y'all do that. Y'all are so cute.
We try. Just trying to be the rom com couple that Married at First Sight special thinks that we are.
Y'all are. Y'all definitely are the rom-com couple. Speaking of Married at First Sight, I had a chance to watch the reunion.
Both parts?
Yeah, both parts. And I was like, this is kind of heated. It was a heated conversation, but I do appreciate like a lot of the conversations were uncomfortable, but I do appreciate the kindness of everybody and they allowed each other to speak. It wasn't like a lot
Yeah,
of people were interrupting each other. Like everybody was so mature at the reunion. And I'm like, okay, now this is a reunion I like to see because you can actually hear what people are saying. I was like, okay, I actually enjoyed watching the reunion. And then I like when Pastor Cal, when they were talking to David and Madison, they're like, okay, we understand, things worked out differently, but if y'all are happy in y'all's relationship, we are happy for y'all at the end of
yeah,
the day. Yeah. So I just feel like everything had a great turnout on Married at First Sight, regardless of what happened on the show. So I can definitely appreciate that. And I just wish all of them the best.
we know.
Even that's always my thing,
Yeah,
because we're all
it's your
human and we
tagline.
know that is my tagline. I
Yeah,
wish everybody the best because we're all human and we all go through different things in life and like that's a serious experiment to go through and it can take a toll on you. I just feel like people were being very open-hearted and open-minded. And then even when MM talked about her situation,
yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, when she opened up about, her miscarriage.
My heart went out to her. That was really
Yes,
tough. Hmm.
it was very tough and I was heartbroken and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I need to add her to my prayers, Like I just was like, good
You're so
grief.
sweet.
Seriously, that hurt my
Yeah.
heart. And because like, how someone really desires like a husband and a family and like when things don't work out, you have to overcome it. So I was like, my heart goes out to her and prayerfully things, will happen the way they're supposed to happen and when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah. And I know last week we were saying a full year since filming ended before the reunion is a big gap, but I do think the benefit to it is that everyone has kind of gotten time or taken the time to compose themselves, gather their feelings. So that's why I think those conversations were really productive and they were so respectful because there was less of that initial heat and anger where it would
Hmm.
have been if it was like 3 months after filming ended, that initial hurt is still sitting right on top. But to your point, I did really respect that even though the topics were not necessarily enjoyable topics for them to talk about and there was some hurt there, it was very much out of respect. Like, we're closing the door on this. I take my responsibility. You have your part. We both were wrong, whatever it is. So, but even Michelle, for as much as we say about her, she really did take ownership of how she acted and
Hmm.
she had that self realization of like, I am judgmental. I do have walls up. So
Hmm.
although it does not take away from the whole David Madison thing, she at least could acknowledge the fact that she was not her best self and she's working on it. And I thought, if nothing else, if you can't get a happy marriage out of the show, having that self actualization and growth is second
Yes.
to a happy marriage. So I was impressed with everyone, I have to say.
I was too, and I definitely feel like you grow. I feel like we all grow and realize something about ourselves throughout the process. So I love that, like you said, she acknowledged herself.
I know you haven't been on Instagram the past few weeks, so you probably missed this, but there's been some craziness between Juan and Carla because apparently, and I don't know the full story, apparently she or her family has been like quote unquote blackmailing him. I don't know what that means to him, but I guess there was something that happened in the beginning of filming that she knew of, like something that he did that she was aware of. We don't know what it is. He won't say what it is. It's not our business. But I guess from his perspective, her and her family have been blackmailing or threatening that they're going to come out with this information. I cannot say if that's true or not. This is just what he's saying. I don't know her side of the story, but he's saying that she should not share this information because they signed NDAs and it's not her business to share. But from what I understand, she is not threatening to say it. She's just saying like he's not all that he claims to be. But it got really aggressive. Like he was posting all these videos on Instagram, kind of bashing Carla and her family, but trying to do it in a way that made him sound like he was defending himself, but he was really just making it messy. And he's saying that she's making troll accounts, like bully him.
Oh my gosh.
Again, I don't know what's true, what's not. I don't care enough really to investigate, and no one's going to tell me their side of the story anyway. But I'm just shocked out of all of this, all of the people, the 10 people on this season, that they're the ones who are messy now that everything's coming out. So that's been a very unpleasant shock.
Well, I don't know. I probably could see that happening. I feel like Carla, like if she knows something, she's going to want to get down to the bottom of it, or if she has something to speak about, she's going to speak about it. So I don't know, but I hate that it's getting messy like that.
It was so messy, and that's why I didn't really get fully invested. If
Yeah.
anyone out there is following it, please let us know what the drama is. But I was just really upset because I thought that they ended things so amicably and kind of just cut ties, and it seems like there's still craziness going on. But
I thought that they did too, because on the reunion they were saying that they were still friends and he was dating someone else.
yeah,
And I'm like, how are y'all still friends? And she was like, oh, look at him taking notes from me and he's
right.
practicing some of the things that I've taught him. Like she was bragging about him. And I feel like the reason why she may still want to have him in her topic of discussion is she may still have feelings for him and you just never know, and it may be weird feelings, like because they had the
Yeah,
connection on
I can
there.
see that.
It wasn't a serious connection, but they had some type of connection. So I don't know, maybe a part of her likes him, I don't know, in order to go that far and be concerned with someone else's life.
Yeah, I do not know, but
Yeah,
it's just
it
sad
sounds
because
unnecessary.
yeah, exactly. It's sad because it shouldn't be that way, but again,
Hmm.
we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know what this secret is, but the funny thing is that he keeps mentioning that she knows something, and now I feel like people don't even care what's going on with them. They just want to know what is the secret. That was my
Yeah,
takeaway. I'm like, I don't care about you two fighting, but what's the
what is
secret
the
that you're
secret?
so upset that she knows and may or may not share with the world? Like what did you do? But I don't
Yeah,
think it's
just tell us
anything
the
bad.
secret already. Yeah.
It's just funny because you keep mentioning it, and now I'm like, yeah, you know what? I actually want her to follow through on this supposed blackmail because I want to know what you don't want people to know.
Oh my gosh. And it's like, just stop playing on the internet at this point. I hate when people do that.
Yeah.
Just say it or
Yeah.
leave it alone. Yeah.
Exactly. And like people will forget about this in a day if you don't keep bringing it up. So just let it lie.
Yeah.
We have plenty of other shows to talk about though. So if anyone has anything specific you want us to review, talk about, watch, we have time. So let us know. And that was kind of an abrupt ending, but you know, we gotta get about our day. I gotta get my facial. I gotta see Jasmine, get the tea, see what's going on.
Yes, honey. So that face can be even more beautiful than it is already.
I'm just gonna have you record things like that, and you'll be my morning affirmations. I'll
I
just be
got
like,
you.
I'll be like, Alexa, I can't say it too loud or she'll turn on, but Alexa, play Kirsten affirmations to wake me up.
Morning, Nicole. You are beautiful, you are strong, and you are so amazing. Have the best day ever.
I love that. If anyone wants that, we're going to start selling it. No, I'm just kidding. You can have it for free. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of D-List Diaries. Let us know your feedback on all of the things I asked for today. You know, March Madness ideas, anything you're competitive about with your spouse. I'd love to know. Any shows you want us to watch. You can email us at dlistdiaries@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Instagram at dlistdiaries. Make sure to like, follow, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to you next week, hopefully with Gina. But either way, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.